expanding and contracting logarithmic equations. We'll need to use these rules here, the log rules, as well as the exponent rules. So pause this video and write down these rules and these two problems so that you can follow along accordingly. Also, get out your exponent rules notes. Exponent rules look like things like this. X to the negative a equals 1 over x to the a. So take out those rules and have them ready next to you. Have you actually gotten those out, and have you actually copied this down? Great. Let's go ahead and move on. We're going to look at this prompt. It says to expand log of this stuff. So we're going to use these rules and the other rules we know to be able to do that. The first thing that I'm going to do is distribute this cubed in. We know that from our exponent rules, do you know? Right. I can distribute this cubed into each one of these. That's what our exponent rules say. So a cubed, b cubed, all over c cubed. That's the very first step. And then I'm going to use these rules to tell me what to do next. Well, these rules say that if I'm multiplying stuff, it's the same as rewriting it as log of this thing plus log of this thing. So let's do that. So this equals log of a cubed plus, so since they're being multiplied, I get to add log of b cubed. Well, what do I do with this thing on the bottom here? Have you thought about it? Yeah, use this rule here. And this rule says that if it's sitting on the bottom, I subtract it. So minus log of c cubed. Now, am I done? Not entirely. There's one more rule we know. We know that when there's a log, we can p all over it. So let's do that. And that means that we're going to move this 3 in front of the log. It's the power in front of the log. So 3 log a plus 3 log b minus 3 log c. And that problem's done. We've successfully expanded it. Go back, rewatch this to make sure you understand each of the steps that were just involved. Good. Let's go ahead and move on to this contract one. So we're basically going to undo all the stuff we did before, but in this new problem. So in this case, what was the thing that I did last? Well, I p'd in front of the log. So we're going to un-p first. So I'm going to move this 2 up, this 3 up, this 10 up. So here we go. Log base 3 of x to the second power plus log base 3 of y to the third power minus log base 3 of z to the 10 power. Good so far? And that was our log p rule. Now we're going to combine this stuff into one big log. It's log base 3. Well, this stuff says if I add 2 logs of the same base together, it's the same as if these things are multiplied inside of the log. So these things are being added, so that means I'm going to take just this stuff and multiply them. This rule says that if I have something being divided, then it's being subtracted. So if I have something that's subtracted, it's like as if I were dividing it inside of the log. So what's being subtracted? That's right. This is being subtracted. So I write z to the 10th power. And that is my solution. Now here are some practice problems. There we go. Yes, you can read that now. Here are 3 practice problems. And what you're going to do is exactly what it says. You want to rewrite these in as many ways as you can. So expand it, contract it, expand, contract, whatever you can do. Come up with 2 to 3 to 100 different ways to rewrite these. What does that mean? Well, any one of these steps is a way to rewrite it. So any step is correct. They all mean the same thing here. This all means the same thing. So that's all it's saying. Write a bunch of different steps down, and you'll get an adequate answer. So pause the video, write these down, and then unpause it and check your work. So you should only press play, in other words, you should pause it again if you haven't worked through these practice problems. Once you have, it's okay to press play. Okay, so I've rewritten each of these in various steps. Sometimes I showed all of my work, sometimes I did not. See if you can follow each one of the steps that I did, and if not, be prepared to ask me those questions. This stuff here sets you up for, yes, exam questions, but more importantly, it'll set you up to be able to answer the more challenging application questions that have to do with real-life type logarithmic and exponential problems. So rewatch this as many times as you need so that you're prepared to do the actual application problems.